Sweet. For the ninth time, I checked the time on my wristwatch. 4:15 p.m. I sighed, uncrossing my legs and shifting on the black leather couch. I straightened my perfectly tailored white blazer. The nervousness I'd felt earlier was gone, replaced with uneasiness. I was seated in a private office in the Stavrakos building, one of the tallest skyscrapers in Manhattan, complete with vaulted ceilings and glass windows looking out over the New York skyline, the pinnacle of luxury. Where the hell is he? We were supposed to meet at 4 sharp, I whispered to my best friend, /editor and personal assistant, Marie Laudy, sitting beside me. I know, right? I didn't expect a man of his caliber to be late. He has so many people organizing his time. My lips twisted. Well, he's a billionaire. Many people want to talk to him. I was waiting to interview Sebastian Stavrakos, a powerful young Greek billionaire and the heir to the Stavrakos empire. His executive secretary, James Morris, informed me when we arrived that his boss had left and would be back in just a few minutes. But it was already 15 minutes past 4. Maybe he's caught in traffic. We did see construction in the city on our way here. Or maybe the paparazzi caught up to him, Marie said. I rubbed my palms together. Let's just wait. I'm lucky he even agreed to this interview. You know how elusive he is with the press. And this exclusive interview will be the perfect final piece for your first book. I'm so proud of you, best friend. You've come so far in your blogging journey. Thanks. I hugged Marie quickly. The Dreamers publishing house wants me to cover him in one whole chapter. If I can get him to talk about that princess drama he's involved in, the book will sell itself. If anyone can get Sebastian to open up, it's you. It's wild how 2 royal princesses are fighting over him. She shrugged her shoulders. Though I can't blame them. He's a Greek god, so damn hot. We both laughed and giggled. Let's keep our fingers crossed. The Dreamers promised 5-book deals if the first becomes a bestseller. You can do it. I have great trust in you. She squeezed my hand. And you'll make your followers very happy by granting their request to interview Sebastian. Yeah, I agreed. I owe my success to them. Without their love and support for my blog, I wouldn't be where I am now. We feel your passion for writing blogs. And you're honest with your opinion, which makes them love you more. Thanks, bestie. You know I'm your #1 fan. With teary eyes, we hugged each other. I started blogging as a hobby, writing about life, love, relationships, and advice until it became a passion. I couldn't believe when my blog, Sweet Blog, went viral 6 months ago. My following skyrocketed from a few thousand to 10 million seemingly overnight. I still had to pinch myself to believe what I'd achieved, partnering with famous brands and earning lucrative projects and collaborations. Joy overwhelmed me, knowing I was successful in what I was doing. I couldn't explain the feeling of happiness that sparkled inside me. Every day, I was more inspired and motivated to hone my craft and engage with my followers. That's why, when my comment section flooded with Sebastian Stavrakos, I knew I had to give my readers what they wanted most. You should interview the billionaire Sebastian Stavrakos. We want him in your blog. What is your opinion of Sebastian Stavrakos? I love Seb. Please, I'm begging you, put him in your blog. Would you fall for a man like Seb? Do you think the 2 princesses are crazy fighting over Sebastian? Why do a lot of women go crazy about Seb Stavrakos? Do you think men should ban Seb Stavrakos on Earth for having everything? The looks, charm, money, and brain. I couldn't just write about the guy and give my honest opinion if I didn't know him personally. I wanted to write facts, not assumptions. So I boldly pitched the exclusive to my publisher and tried my luck emailing the Stavrakos. After a week and a few nudges, I was shocked when they granted my request without question. Marie looked at her watch. While we're waiting, let's review some facts about Sebastian to make sure you're ready. That's a good idea to kill time, I agreed, briefly looking up at the ceiling. I'd spent all night reviewing the details of Sebastian's life. He's a sensational human being. He didn't need to work up to fame, wealth, and power because he was born to have them all. Exactly. She nodded. He earned an engineering degree at Harvard University. She gave me a thumbs up. His family owns the world's top robotic company and invests in businesses across all sectors: mining, real estate, airlines, steel, clothing manufacturing. Lucky, everyone would say. Most individuals would trade their life with Sebastian Stavrakos. But the media awarded him no privacy. That was a given, being the son of a controversial mother, Elena Pallas Stavrakos, known as the rebellious bride. She walked down the aisle in a black dress on her wedding. Sebastian wasn't without his own controversy. He set their mansion on fire when he was 7, making the news for months. Since then, the media have captured all his adventures, from joining car racing to climbing Mt. Everest to doing extreme sports. Girls were head over heels for him. He had a fandom. But lately, his playboy behavior had gotten him in hot water in the news again. And amid it all, I had managed to secure an interview with Sebastian and the keys to a multi-book deal. I could hardly believe that all my hard work was about to pay off. After waiting an hour in Sebastian Stavrakos' office, James returned with an apologetic smile. He stood in front of us, holding his phone. It seems like Mr. Stavrakos can't make it today, ladies. He has an emergency. Oh my God. My eyes widened. That's terrible. What kind of emergency? He passed me the phone. He'll tell you himself. Good afternoon, Mr. Stavrakos. This is Sweet Trouble. My voice was polite and firm. Professional. I'm so sorry, Miss Trouble, Sebastian uttered in a very sexy voice, erupting butterflies in my stomach. I would love to have an interview with you, but unfortunately, I'm in the middle of an emergency right now. Oh no. Oh yes, he chuckled richly. My friend from Russia arrived, and it's the first time we've met in person in a long time. I could hear the sound of kissing in the background. Doubt crept in about what kind of friendship they had. Oh really? Is your friend a woman? Indeed. I told her I was going to meet you, but he paused, and I heard smacking sounds. She clings to me so tightly and cries. I have no choice but to postpone the interview. Is that okay with you, Miss Trouble? I don't want to press, but this is important, Mr. Stavrakos. I'd promised pages to my publisher by the end of the week. If it's okay, could we do it over the phone instead? I could even shorten the length of the interview. I'm afraid I can't, Miss Trouble. I can't concentrate with my emergency right now. I have to prioritize my friend's needs. Discouraged, I sighed. Of course. How inconsiderate of me to suggest. I chuckled a little, trying to hide my disappointment. A good friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. I admire you value your friends, Mr. Stavrakos. It's one characteristic that women are looking for in a man. I'm flattered, Miss Trouble. I take that as a compliment. So, when are we going to meet? How about tomorrow morning? I'll make it up to you for the trouble, Miss Trouble. Let's meet at the elite golf course. That sounds good. You're very understanding. See you tomorrow, Miss Trouble. 9 a.m. On the dot. On the dot, I mimicked, smiling. As long as Sebastian Stavrakos agreed to keep our interview on his calendar, I'd meet him wherever he pleased. The next day, Marie and I wore our cute golf outfits, sporty polo shirts, white skirts with matching golf shoes, and caps. I was armed with my notebook of questions, but yet again, there was no sign of Sebastian Stavrakos. This time, it was James Morris again who arrived holding his phone. I'm so sorry, ladies, he said with the same apologetic tone. Mr. Stavrakos can't make it again today. Why? My eyebrows snapped together. Surely he wouldn't stand me up again? What happened? Unfortunately, he had another emergency. Another. Marie's eyes grew big. Unbelievable. Here. James gave me his phone. He'll explain it to you. Hello. This is Sweet Trouble, I said, my tone much less sweet than yesterday. I'm so sorry, Miss Trouble, but I'm in the middle of an emergency again, Sebastian said in his usual sexy voice. It did not affect me today. Are you entertaining your Russian friend again, Mr. Stavrakos? No, not anymore, he chuckled. She left this morning back to Russia. Actually, my other friend from Germany arrived, and the same thing happened. She won't let me go and wants me to stay in bed with her. Why? Is she sick? You're right. He clicked his tongue. She's so hot, feverish. She can't stop moaning in pain. I heard a smacking sound in the background and loud moaning. In pain? You need to call. Or should I call them for you, Mr. Stavrakos? No need, Miss Trouble. But thank you for your concern. I'm deeply touched. His voice sounded grateful, but I had a feeling he was faking it. If you don't mind, can we reschedule the interview for this evening? Perhaps in a fine dining restaurant at 8. Again? He stood me up twice already. That's impossible, Mr. Stavrakos. I'm so busy. I'll have to check my schedule first. Okay, some other time then, he answered firmly. I also have very little time. I'm a busy man, and I don't think I could grant you another interview in the future. So this is goodbye, Miss Trouble. Wait, I stopped him from hanging up. I was torn about agreeing to dinner. Normally, I'd never give someone a third chance. But Sebastian was different. I had a multi-book deal and my publishing dreams on the line. Should I bend my rules for him? I took a deep breath to calm myself. Okay, I'll see you tonight, Mr. Stavrakos. He chuckled, sounding victorious. You're very sweet, Miss Trouble, just like your name. Until dinner then. He hung up, leaving me frozen with my hands balled into fists. I turned to Marie, keeping my voice low enough that James couldn't hear. If Sebastian Stavrakos stands me up again at dinner tonight, I'm going to make him pay. Sebastian. Follow me. The hot chick who had been flirting with me since I arrived an hour ago whispered in my ear. Her voluptuous breasts pressed on my arm, her plump lips caressed my ear, and her fingers rubbed my nipple. It was still early in the evening, but as usual, the elite club was crowded with people already. The place boomed with fast-paced, repetitive electronic music and light shows as the DJ remixed the best R&B and hip-hop hits of the S. The smell of sweat, perfume, and alcohol mingled in the air as the crowd grew bigger. Bodies easily touched each other as there was not enough room to move. I took a shot of tequila in one gulp and followed the chick. I was slightly drunk, but what the heck? I was young and enjoying my life. Where are you going? My bodyguard, Max, stopped me. We have to go. You have that dinner interview this evening. For fuck's sake. I'm not interested in having a boring dinner with a spinster librarian. Come on, Max, out of my way. But sir, you have to go. James said it's your final chance. My lips pressed together tightly. Damn it. My parents had been threatening to remove me as heir to the Stavrakos fortune for months, and my mom thought an interview with a popular blogger would be the perfect way to reform my image. I couldn't think of anything more boring, but I was so close to becoming CEO. I couldn't let it slip through my grasp. In 15 minutes, Max okay? I conceded, raising a hand in front of him. A sign for him to shut up and leave me alone until then. The next thing I knew, I was inside the restroom, and the chick was giving me a blowjob. I grasped her head as I shoved myself deeper into her throat, faster and harder, until I jerked and ejaculated inside her mouth. Good girl. I rubbed her cheek as she swallowed all my juices, nice and good. She licked her lips. Delicious. I left the restroom, promptly forgetting the chick. Max waited outside the restroom. He nodded when he saw me. Let's go. Just a sec. Tucker arrived. I'll just say hi and have a shot. But sir, you'll be late in your engagement. You know what will happen if you don't make it to that dinner interview. I'll be there on the dot. Stop being a spoilsport. I'm not even worried. I tapped his back. 5 more minutes, then we can go to that interview. Okay, boss. Max's lips twisted in dissatisfaction, but he didn't argue as he followed me deeper into the club. Nobody ever dared to argue with me. Maximilian Brady was single and in his early 30s. He had been my bodyguard since I graduated from college 3 years ago. Wherever I went, he was with me, in every corner of the world. He knew the people I hung out with, what I'd been up to, and where I would go next. Hey dude, what's up? I greeted one of my close friends, Tucker Mills. He was my classmate in high school and worked as a pilot in our airline company. Doing good, man. I just touched down in New York after 16 hours of flying from Dubai. I'm so bored and I can't sleep. I need alcohol and a hot chick to fuck. Damn, man, you're just in time. I called the waiter and ordered a bottle of tequila. 30 minutes later, we were still in the club, having a good time drinking, laughing, and making out with girls. All right, the night's young. Let's have fun. I poured more tequila into our glasses, then shouted, bottoms up. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Max waiting for me by the entrance, frowning. I untangled myself from the girls seated next to me and approached him. What is it, Max? What's the problem? It's not my business to say, sir. I chuckled. Come on. You can tell me anything. Spill it out. Forget I'm your boss tonight. Well, it's a pity that blogger drove 5 hours from Dansville, rented an Airbnb, and will get nothing. So she's not just an old maid librarian but a village woman. I smirked. Well, life is not always a bed of roses, Max. You have to work hard to get to the top. Max's eyebrows rose questioningly, but he remained silent. I may be rich, I continued, but even I still have to prove myself to my parents to secure a position in the company. It sucks, you know. Don't you want to run your family's business? I do. Business is in my blood. I enjoy the thrill of closing a deal, engaging with people, and managing, but I'm still young and want to live my life to the fullest. Life is too short to focus only on making money. We can't even bring it to our grave. We have to enjoy life, experience new things, and meet different kinds of people, to be happy and fulfilled. Do you get what I mean? Yes, sir. I understand. But the blogger. I waved my hand, settling back at the table with Tucker and the girls. Immediately, my phone rang. It was my executive secretary, James. Sir, it's 8:20 already. You're late for your dinner interview with Miss Trouble. I let out an exasperated sigh, weighing up if I should go to the interview. I wanted to please my parents and prove I was worthy of being the future CEO of our company, but what the heck? Tucker was in town, the drinks were flowing, and I was having the time of my life. The girl beside me started kissing my neck, melting my resolve. I can't make it tonight. I'm busy. Cancel the meeting, James, I said, turning to the girl and capturing her lips with mine. But sir, your parents set up this interview. This is critical to divert the media's attention from the princess drama. I said, cancel it. I don't need a boring spinster to interview me, I replied more firmly, kissing the other girl sitting on my left. I can't, sir. Your position at the company will be at stake if you upset your parents again. This is your last chance to prove that you're capable of staying as a COO of the company and heir of your family's business empire. They can't do that to me. I'm their only son. My lips twisted, suddenly upset. Give the phone to Miss Trouble. I'll cancel it myself. Sweet. I wore an all-black outfit for dinner while Marie was in fuchsia. We arrived at 8 on the dot at a very fancy restaurant in New York. The high ceiling and unique chandeliers hanging in every corner were very impressive. The metallic motif gave the ambience of a futuristic diner. We sat at an elegant table, but there was no sign of Sebastian Stavrakos. Again. It's 8:15, and he's not here. What is fucking wrong with that guy? Marie whispered to me before turning to James, who looked dashing in a black tuxedo. Did he reply to your text yet? No. He shook his head vigorously, staring at Marie. Maybe he's in another emergency. Again. She rolled her eyes. Let's just wait. If he doesn't turn up, then we're done with him. I stood up, feeling so upset already. I'll go to the ladies' room. While inside the bathroom cubicle, I heard women enter, talking loudly. Tell me what happened, a girl asked. I had dinner with Sebastian Stavrakos last night, the second girl, with a thick Russian accent, replied. Oh wow, you're so lucky. The first girl sounded so impressed. Yeah, but not lucky enough to get into his bed. He left with that German model at midnight. I'm jealous. She definitely had morning sex with him. For sure. That bastard. These women had just confirmed my suspicion that he was with his fuck buddies. What an unprofessional liar and time waster. He treated me and my interview as unimportant and a joke. He should have said that he did not want to be interviewed before I bet my career on it. I strode out of the restroom and back to our table. James was on the phone and turned to me. It's Mr. Stavrakos. He wants to talk to you, he said, passing me his phone. Yes, Mr. Stavrakos? I answered in controlled anger. I'm so sorry, Miss Trouble. Something bad happened tonight. I can't see you. I have another emergency. His voice sounded disappointed, but by now I knew he was faking it. Pretty sure your French friend came for a visit. You're right, Miss Trouble. He laughed coolly. I'm amazed that you're good at wild guessing. Time to bring out the heavy artillery. This man needed to be put in his place. Of course. I can even read your mind, Mr. Stavrakos. You're going to postpone our interview to tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, you'll call again, postponing it to dinner, because your Filipino friend arrived. He chuckled. Miss Trouble, you seem upset. Huh. Mr. Stavrakos, I could not hold on to my anger any longer, and I was feisty as hell. I'm sure you're having fun fooling me. You can take all your fake emergencies with you to hell for all I care. Miss Trouble, if you're jealous of my friends and want a date, all you have to do is ask, he answered mockingly. Oh my god. I laughed sarcastically and replied bitingly, Mr. Stavrakos, I wouldn't date you in a million years. Adios, Mr. Stavrakos. You wasted my time. Goodbye. I hung up before he could come up with a smooth reply. That bastard had not just wasted my time, money, and effort, but also ruined my book deal. Men like him needed to learn a lesson. I was going to find a way to make Sebastian Stavrakos wish he'd never stood me up. Sweet. I'm glad you're back, my dad, Chris, greeted. His eyes lit up when he saw me walking towards him into our farm storage room, putting rotten potatoes in a sack. Hi, Dad. Want some? I offered him my macchiato, but he declined. My dad was frugal. He never bought coffee from a cafe, believing it was a waste of money. For him, coffee was coffee. It was all the same in every sense of the word. How was your interview with Sebastian Stavrakos? A disaster, I sighed, the corner of my lips twisting. He stood me up. Not just once, but 3 times. What an arrogant bastard. My dad's forehead furrowed, and his eyes narrowed. He wasted your time and effort. Did he know that it was a 5-hour drive to Dansville? I rolled my eyes. I doubt he even knows geography. Next time, make sure you research the person well first so you don't waste a journey. I paid for 2 nights of lodging and the food cost twice as much there. I exhaled heavily, thinking of the wasted money. It wouldn't have mattered with the advance the publisher promised with Sebastian on board. What are you going to do now? I haven't figured out my next move yet. I shrugged my shoulders. I'll know once I call my publisher. Actually, I was afraid to know how my publisher would take the news that I couldn't include Sebastian Stavrakos' interview in my first book. I wondered how I could break the news gently. I knew they'd be disappointed or, worse, hesitant to move forward with the book deal. I'm sure they'll understand once you explain to them what happened, Dad said with encouragement. I really hope so, I answered, my heart heavy. I'd never felt this much pressure in my career. I would have been on the precipice of something great if Sebastian Stavrakos had only been kind enough to show up to one of our scheduled meetings. Enough about me. Mom told me you have some good news. Yeah, he nodded. Sam Andrews came here yesterday. He offered a partnership with us. Really? My eyes grew big, surprised at the wonderful news. Dad smiled happily. Oh, Dad, that's a dream come true for our potato farm. Finally, they trust us. We hugged each other as I shared in his happiness. Sam Andrews was the owner of Andrews Food Manufacturing Company, the biggest potato processing company in the world. They bought potatoes from different farms, including ours. Now that we've added more machinery and replaced our old, obsolete stuff, we can supply more potatoes to them. Planting, growing, and harvesting has been easier and faster. That's amazing, Dad. After all the hard work you've done, it all paid off. Nope. If it weren't for your hard work, we wouldn't have been able to afford to add more machinery, he answered, his eyes becoming watery. 6 months ago, my dad was so against my blogging. I still remembered our conversation clearly. You're just wasting your time doing blogs, sweet. His forehead furrowed. It won't get you anywhere. If you go to the city and work for a media company, then your talent in writing would be useful. You'll earn big bucks. I love working on my blog, Dad. It makes me happy and productive. I find it more fulfilling and important than money. But we need money to keep us going. His expression suddenly looked tired. We have too many expenses pouring in every day. It's hard to keep up. The farm needs excellent machines. What we have is obsolete. The house needs repairs, and the twins, they're going to college. I was the only person that Dad talked to about his concerns in the family. He never told Mom because it would only worry her. And that would make her hysterical from sleepless nights. I understood Dad, who carried all the weight on his shoulders. Being the head of the family and the only one earning a living was too much for him now. Now that we were growing and the expenses kept coming in. Dad did not go to college, just like Mom. All his life, he worked on the potato farm that he inherited from his parents. The reason it was important for our parents to get us all into college was that they had never experienced it. And they wanted us to have decent jobs. I'm putting percent on it, Dad. I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. And I know success will eventually follow. When? His lips twisted. And my heart sank. Just be patient, please. You promised to give me 2 years to focus on my dream. And it's only been a year, I reminded him again. I swear, if nothing works, I'll do what you want me to do. I'll apply to a media company right away. Okay. He nodded. Still frowning. Oh God, I wished he would trust me. Now that I had found success in blogging and paved my own little way. Dad was so happy that I could help him with our daily expenses. I had the plumbing and electricity in our house fixed. And my next project was to do a larger renovation and patch the leaks in the roof. If the book deal fell through, however, I wondered if that would all be a pipe dream. After helping Dad sort potatoes, I found my siblings Aaron and Colton in the kitchen. They were non-identical twins, both 18 years old and 5 years my junior. They'd just graduated high school and were enjoying the break before going to university. Hey, sweet. Can I have a sip? Colton gestured to the macchiato the moment I entered the kitchen door. He'd obviously just woken up. Judging from his messy hair and swollen eyes, he must have been out partying last night with his high school friends. You can have it. I gave the macchiato to him. And he took it. Then got busy on his phone. I sat on the kitchen counter, watching Erin make pancakes for her older twin brother, well, older by 10 minutes. Did you just arrive? Erin asked. When I nodded, she continued. I'm sorry about your failed interview. But don't worry, we have some good news. I'm sure you heard about it already. Yeah, I did. I just talked to Dad. It's all we've ever wanted for the farm. Now, we're secured in this partnership. His hard work really paid off. She grinned widely. I'm so happy that good things are happening in our family. Your blogging career, the farm, and me and Colton going to college. Yeah, if only I got that interview. It's the key to my multi-book deal. Don't lose hope. Sebastian Stavrakos is not the only billionaire in New York. I'm sure many others would gladly agree to an exclusive interview with you. Erin reassured me. She had a point. Why hadn't I thought of that? My weary spirit instantly lifted. Hope overwhelmed me as I thought of interviewing other billionaires in New York. You're right, Erin. I'll suggest it to my publisher when I talk to them later. Also, tell them that Stavrakos is a jerk. Colton snapped angrily. He shouldn't have agreed to an interview if he's too busy hooking up with different girls. He's a player? Erin asked as she put a plate of pancakes on the kitchen table for Colton to dig in. Yeah, he's hooked up with actresses, models, celebrities, politicians' daughters, billionaires' heiresses, any rich and famous women he can find. Colton enlightened us. Oh, really? Erin sat across Colton at the table. No wonder he's sensational. Exactly. And right now, he's front-page news with the princess drama. I informed them. Yeah, I heard about that. Colton's lips twisted, looking unimpressed. He's famous because of the issues he's involved in. In fact, I can't think of any billionaire here in New York that can beat him when it comes to popularity. Realization suddenly set in. You're dead right. No other billionaire has the clout or the drama Sebastian does. It's the reason why my publisher wants his interview in my book. Oh. Erin's eyebrows rose. So, in that case, you have no other options but to interview the man. I took a long sigh. But that's not possible now. After what he did, I don't want to deal with him anymore. I grimaced in distaste as I thought of the obstacle that Sebastian Stavrakos had brought into my career. You're a sensational blogger, Erin encouraged. You'll be okay. You write good stuff. That's why people love reading your blog. And you can always go to other publishers. Colton gave an impatient shrug. There are plenty of them who want to publish your first book. I shook my head. But it's every writer's dream to publish a book under Dreamer's publishing house. Now that I'm talking with them, I can't just give it up. You shouldn't. Just follow your heart's desire. Whatever makes you happy, we're here to support you. Erin held my arm, reassuring me. Don't worry too much, sweet. Things will be all right. Later, I received an email from my publisher asking about my exclusive interview with Sebastian Stavrakos. I detailed the incident of Sebastian Stavrakos' obnoxious behavior, standing me up in our interview 3 times. He showed no interest in being interviewed. So I suggested we stop pursuing any interviews in the future. The following day, my publisher responded. What I feared most had happened. Because I failed to do the exclusive interview with Sebastian Stavrakos, they decided to reevaluate my manuscript and let me know of their decision soon. My heart sank. Darn it. I'm back to square one. My dreams felt like they were crumbling into a million pieces. The hard work and sleepless nights I invested in my first book had gone to waste. My lips thinned in anger. This was all because of that obnoxious and arrogant billionaire, Sebastian Stavrakos. He made me believe that he wanted to be interviewed, only to make a fool of me. He was the most selfish, disrespectful, and rude person that I'd ever met. He didn't give a damn about other people's time, effort, or feelings. Oh, how I hated him. He should be exposed for what he did to me so he'd learn his lesson. Someone needed to tell him that what he did was wrong. Or he'd keep on repeating the same behavior. A notification popped up. Another email. It was an invitation to be a guest on the TV show Good Morning USA. They wanted me to talk about my success in blogging. It was like an answer to my wish. Of course, why not? My eyes narrowed as anger overwhelmed me. Watch out, Sebastian Stavrakos. I'm going to expose you to the public. Did you have your interview with Sweet Trouble? Mom asked the moment she saw me enter the grand living room of our mansion. It was Wednesday evening, which marked another classic family dinner with my grandparents, Christoph and Pia Stavrakos, and Gareth and Celine Danes. All eyes turned to me, waiting for my answer. Damn, I had to beat around the bush. The supposed interview with the spinster happened a week ago. I thought it was long forgotten, but now it haunted me. I couldn't tell her the truth yet, that I didn't succumb to that boring interview. Something told me she would be upset if I did, and that could ruin the family dinner. I had to test the water first. Was that really a big deal? I questioned to save myself from lying. I went to the bar and poured myself a glass of sparkling red wine that everyone was drinking. Of course. It's a good way to divert the media's attention away from the princess issue. She took a sip of her wine, leaning closer to Dad, then added, I'm glad you did the interview, Sebastian. Sweet Trouble's blog is making an enormous wave in social media right now. Oh, really? Lucky for her. I sat next to my grandpa Gareth, who was the most chill of anyone in the room. That's not luck, son. She works hard to get on the top. Dad raised his hand briefly. She's quite impressive. Hardworking and good-natured. You should know better. You met her in person, right? I did not answer, saving myself from lying again. Instead, I sipped my wine slowly and waited for someone to rescue me. Grandma Pia did. Is she the one who interviewed Zion Petrakis recently? Her eyes gleamed with interest. Well, she rescued me from answering about the spinster librarian. But she kept the topic burning, drawing interest from everyone. Yeah, the same girl. Mom responded. You know her? Uh-huh. I followed her blog. A very sweet girl, just like her name. She's a farmer's daughter from Dansville. Grandpa Pia answered, drawing attention from everyone. Oh wow. She's really interesting, coming from a humble beginning. Mom agreed. She is. Grandma Pia continued. I read her interview with Zion last night. I learned a lot about him as a man beyond just the young, handsome billionaire. I heard she also interviewed with Alessandro Russo. That was a week ago. It caught the attention of the press. You know how controversial Alessandro's life is, being connected with the mafia. Sweet Trouble presented her article very well. And she has this kind of magic that keeps me reading her blogs. That's passion. It shows in her writing that she's loving what she's doing. Grandpa Christoph butted in. Then he turned to me. I'm glad she did an interview with you, Seb. She'll definitely make a good article. I can't wait to read it. Do you know when it will come out? Grandma Celine asked me, making everyone's eyes focus on me again. I don't have an idea. I shrugged and diverted the topic. Aren't we going to eat yet? I'm starving. We're waiting for Luna. Mom answered. She's still taking a shower. Have some of those first. She pointed at the charcuterie board on a tray cart. It's still early for dinner. Never mind. I'll wait. I swirled my glass of wine, then took a sip. Everyone looked up at the staircase. Finally, Luna entered. No matter how solemn she wanted it to be, she failed. Everyone always turned to her. Luna, my 17-year-old sister, born during the lunar eclipse. She was very introverted and thought of herself as weird. She loved anything with the color black. She used to imagine herself as a witch or a vampire when she was younger. Thank God she got over it. Dinner started, and I felt more relaxed with my family. To my delight, their attention shifted to Luna. They were all so concerned about why she had her room painted all black. I thought the topic of the spinster librarian had died, but after dinner, they brought it up again. Everyone was back in the living room drinking coffee when Grandma Celine started it. Oh wow, she's really pretty. Grandma Celine looked at her iPad. Who? Everyone asked. She turned her iPad to us and showed an image of a beautiful brunette smiling on camera. Curious, I asked. Who is she? You don't know her? Her eyebrows snapped together. I thought she interviewed you. All eyes turned to me instantly, giving me an accusing stare. Wait, is that Miss Trouble? I asked them, shifting my eyes from one to another until I met Mom's. Right. That's Sweet Trouble. Her eyes glared at me. How come you don't know her? Son. Dad shifted his position. You have a lot of explaining to do. Busted. For God's sake, James. Why didn't you tell me she's not a spinster? She's years old, single, and beautiful. You did not ask me, sir. He stammered. The fuck? I groaned, very irritated, as I stared at Sweet Trouble's photo on my phone in my office the next day. You did not tell me she's a brunette either. She's the type of girl I go for. I remember. You hated every time I mention her name. You didn't want that interview. Your parents only forced you to accept it. But still, it never happened. Damn it, James. Do you have to remind me again? My parents are mad as hell that I did not sit with Miss Trouble for an interview. They threatened to cut me off from the family business, as well as my trust money. I believe they're very serious this time. I put down my phone and stood up. Call her. Tell her I'll do the interview. Anytime, anywhere. It's her call this time. I want to meet her. He coughed. Then said, also remember, sir, what she said to you, that she would not meet you in a million years. She was upset that you stood her up 3 times. Fuck. Give me her number. I'll call her myself. I don't have it, sir. But I have her personal assistant's number. Then call her now. I instructed. If possible, I want to meet here as soon as possible. So book the earliest appointment and prioritize our meeting. Cancel if you find any conflict with my schedule. I will, sir. 3 days later. I tried my very best, sir. But Miss Trouble would not meet you. She meant it when she said that she would not meet you ever again. James said in an apologetic voice. Now I'm busted. I sat down in my chair, feeling very exhausted suddenly. My parents are really upset. They're very disappointed in me. I'm in danger of disinheriting the family business and missing the opportunity to meet Sweet Trouble, the prettiest girl that I've ever seen. I agree, sir. You missed the chance. Miss Trouble is quite charming, along with her assistant, Marie. He cleared his throat. Let's find a way for me to meet her. She's from Dansville, right? Cancel all my appointments this afternoon. Get me a helicopter. And we'll visit her farm. Now, sir? Of course. Now, I said. But before James could move, the door opened. Mom entered, looking at me with murderous eyes. Have you seen Good Morning USA? She threw the question at me like a bomb. Nope. You know I don't watch TV. I don't have the time. I don't either. She admitted. But what the hell? You're over the news, Sebastian. All over the internet. You created another scandal again. And this time, it's bigger than your ego. What the fuck have you done to that girl that made her hate you? What are you talking about? Who is this girl? She took the remote control and opened YouTube to a replay of the morning show, Good Morning USA. 2 hosts of the morning show had interviewed Sweet Trouble live in Dansville. She talked about her journey as a blogger and how she attained success in a short period. Miss Trouble, you interviewed 2 of the world's most sought-after eligible bachelors in this generation. The young billionaires Alessandro Russo and Zion Petrakis. That created an uproar and made your blog the talk of the town. I'm so impressed that they accepted to be interviewed. We all know that they're very elusive men. We can't even have them in the show. The female host chuckled. Exactly. How did you do that? The male host turned to Sweet Trouble. I emailed them and conveyed my sincere intention, requesting an interview. I'm honored that they put their trust in me. Sweet Trouble looked so beautiful, fresh-looking, articulate, and intelligent. Exactly the girl that I was looking for. Unlike someone, Sweet Trouble continued, who treated me and my interview as a joke. My forehead furrowed, and I turned to Mom, who glared at me. Oh, that's awful. The female host looked surprised. So you're saying you had an unpleasant experience with someone lately who treated you and your blog as a joke? Yes, that's right. This man agreed to have an interview. So I went to New York. So, it was a man. The male host interrupted. And she nodded. So you drove all the way from Dansville to New York to see him? That's a 5-hour drive. Exactly. But then he stood me up. 3 times, because he had an emergency. 3 times. The female host exclaimed. What kind of emergency? Same emergency. Every time we were scheduled to meet, a female friend of his would arrive for a visit to his penthouse feeling hot and feverish. He could not leave her. So he kept on postponing the interview. I later found out that he was only fooling me. It was a throwaway accusation. But it hit home. That sucks. He shouldn't have agreed to an interview then. I feel for you, Miss Trouble. He's a time waster and a playboy. The female host sympathized. Indeed, very unprofessional. To think that he was your first choice to interview. The male host said. And I assume he's also a young billionaire? Just like Zion Petrakis and Alessandro Russo? Correct. He's one of the most eligible bachelors on the planet. But the truth has blinded women. He's a player. He treats us women like objects because he doesn't see us fully as humans. So he has no loyalty and respect for us. You're right, Miss Trouble. Just like what you said in your blog. Women are first-class human beings. Men must treat us with love, care, loyalty, and respect. Therefore, gender equality is important. The female host continued. This obnoxious playboy young billionaire should learn from your blog. He should. Sweet Trouble lifted her chin. This man is the worst boyfriend or husband that a woman could ever have. All fathers should warn their daughters not to date this man. He changes women with just a snap of his fingers. Wait, ladies. Sorry for the interruption. The male host interrupted. But we've just been informed from the key station that our viewers flooded Twitter with thousands of tweets asking for Miss Trouble to name the young billionaire. Oh my. We're going viral. Going to the #1 spot. Are they asking me to name the obnoxious playboy billionaire? Sweet Trouble asked. Well, that's what they want. The male host shrugged. But the camera gave a close-up of Sweet Trouble. She put on a beautiful, angelic smile. then looked directly at the camera. It's Sebastian Stavrakos, she said bitingly, emphasizing my name. My jaw clenched tightly as my eyes locked with hers through the monitor screen. Damn, she just made a declaration of war between us.